95% of our lives are run and created by our subconscious mind programming. Imagine if your subconscious mind is running many negative, disempowering, and self-sabotaging programs. How will that 95% of your life turn out to be? Would you like help to change your subconscious programming into something that works for you and set it to attract and create everything you desire? Join Tamra Oviatt in her show Metaprogramming and the Human Biocomputer here on OMTimes, where she will connect to the source energy and change your subconscious programming by deleting your negative belief systems. Tamra is the founder of Sacred Activations, a subconscious metaprogramming modality that rewires your brain and shifts hundreds of your belief systems so you can break away from lack, pain, and suffering and take control of what you want to create in your life. Tamra has helped hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, and she is here to help you too. It's not about fighting what you don't want. It's about creating what you do want. And the only way to do that is to change and upgrade your subconscious programming. Let Tamra help you create magic in your world. Tune in every week at Metaprogramming and the Human Biocomputer.
Hi, welcome to this week's Metaprogramming in the Human Biocomputer. We are definitely going to run some activations today. I have an amazing guest who is a Sacred Activations master, plus so much more. She's the author of 4 books now. She channels light language. She's an artist. She's a coach to help you get into your power and really live the life you desire. She's absolutely incredible. So stay tuned today. We're going to have some great deep conversations, and we're working on wounded healers. So if you're a mom, you're a healer. So this is really, or a dad or whatever, you're a person, you're a healer. So that's really what this is about, to help us heal these wounds so that we can step more and more into our power. And then at the end of this today, and if you're joining in live, please help me. I need some help. I've been told I have to do a background on me, my childhood and stuff, and growing up to where I'm at now for a book. And so it's going to be good. I'm excited to share it with you, but I need some help writing it. So if you're on live, please make sure that you ask me some questions, and it'll help me go into some more stories. But we're going to stick to certain ages and follow that through. So thank you so much. And I'm excited to be here. Make sure you're on the website to get notice if you want to join us in live and get some free activations. Anyways, here's my friend, Patricia Walls, absolutely incredible being. Hi, Patricia.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing, honey? Welcome.
Thank you. So we were going to talk about wounded healers today, and it's a timely subject for a lot of people, because this is the time really that we should be, as my sister Lisa puts it, selfish about our own healing, right? Because we can't help others if we're not a clear channel. And so I was excited to be able to come in here today and not only share with you, but also get the benefit of some activations to help us clear all of that from Tamra. So thank you, Tamra, for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today. You blow me away with your intuition and your knowledge and your connection. I think you're absolutely incredible, amazing. And sometimes when I'm stuck, I call Patricia, and she'll take me into a guided meditation, then I take it from there. Sometimes I need that help walking in, and it's very cool and an amazing assistant. She's also a HQQT. How do you say that?
QHHT. Yeah, quantum healing hypnosis technique. Yeah.
Hypnotherapist. Yeah, I took the class, but I never did the curriculum to get my license. So I did it just to do the class. Anyways, Patricia is certified, and she's amazing at that. Yeah. If you're familiar with Dolores Cannon's work. It's really cool, but she's so much more than that. She's so much more than a master sacred activations practitioner and actually a teacher, but she doesn't teach. She helps in other ways. So share with us what you do and how you help people.
So I started out in shamanism, of course, like most of us here have done, because I wanted to know more about self, about true self, the earth teachings. And so I started out that way, and it blossomed into learning about Reiki and learning about, so after Reiki, I think it was theta healing. And after theta healing, it was hypnosis and then sacred activations. And I'm of the nature that I believe we should never stop learning. Doesn't mean we have to practice it, but we should never stop learning and growing and wanting to be better in who we are. And so that's really what brought me to sacred activations. And I think I was in the second class that you gave, not the first class, but I'm pretty sure I was in the second class that you offered in sacred activations. And the reason I personally don't teach anybody else's, because I'm licensed to teach several different modalities, but I don't teach them because, and this is not a discredit to anybody else out there, but I really, no, I'm not even going to say that. But anyway, I don't teach because I don't want to do a disservice to Tamra and to other people who have developed these modalities. And there's nothing wrong with other people teaching them. It's just not for me. Because what I found for me personally is that once I learn something, it expands me and it opens me up to more knowledge about that one thing. And so Reiki, for instance, I found that I was no longer teaching Reiki, so I stopped teaching it because I had gotten all of this other information. So hold on a second. Sorry about that. So I stopped teaching Reiki because I was no longer teaching Reiki. I was teaching what I call earth medicine. And what I found with, in particular with Tamra's system, which is brilliant, and I use it every day, and I refer so many people to it, is that even when I'm doing the language of light, sacred activations comes in, right? And when I'm doing, when I have a person that I'm doing light language for in person, Reiki comes in. So you're never separated from any of those things that you learn and that you agree to be in service with. So I talk in circles sometimes. I'm sorry about that.
I do too. No, that's okay. That's how we live.
Yeah.
We live in that spiral. I talk in that spiral.
But in the way of wounded healers, what happened for me, and I just had this conversation on my podcast with Lisa Lightfeather, is that what happens with wounded healers, and Tamra, I'm sure, is going to run an activation for this. If not, would you please, for the vow of poverty, right? So we took the vows of poverty, saying that we wouldn't accept money for our services, that we would give of ourselves. And what I found in the community is that most of the, well, I say most, but I'm going to say most of the healers in my community are sick in one way or another. Some of them have crippling diseases. Some of them are just crippled because we were taught, in the old way, we were taught to take in someone else's illness.
Yeah.
We weren't. Yeah, yeah. The old
Shamans believe
shamanic
activated.
ways. We were taught to
Yeah.
take in as a service an agreement that we made to suffer for humanity. And so
Yeah.
we were taught to take in this energy. We weren't taught to do anything more with it. And people became crippled and sick and died. And then for me personally, I was taught how to transmute that energy, take it in, transmute it, and release it. Well, that was okay for a while, but that also took a great amount of energy of my own to do this, to take in energy, to transmute it and release it. And then they reminded me about what's called the hollow bones, where you agree to simply be a channel, that you're not using your own energy. You're using source energy. And in this way, I believe that Tamra has shared about the great central sun, right? And using that energy to heal oneself and others. And so I am at that point in my evolvement that I never use my own energy. And so I'm not wiped out at the end of an event or a healing session because I'm not using my own energy. I'm using source energy. So our other conversation, and you can stop me anytime, Tamra, but I'm just these are my points of interest, and then, we can work around that. But the other thing was the law of karma. And so one of the things that the beings that I work with pointed out to me was that when you become a person of service, and you don't ask for anything in return for that service, that person becomes indebted to you. And so there are all of those indebtedness. I'm not going to call them karmic debts, but they are indebtedness, either emotionally or spiritually. They are indebted to you if you don't receive some kind of energy exchange. And so you become a wounded healer because there are all these connections to you from people who are indebted to you. And so there's still that physical connection. Cords, some people call them cords and hooks.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is there's people that owe me money, and I just your debt is clear, don't worry about it. I cancel it all. I said, I'm not interested in carrying this. I'm not going to carry this. You don't owe me a penny. All right. We're good. Let's move forward. So, because that's so important, because then you're holding that energy and they're sucking your energy for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're draining you. And it's like, no, you're not having this control over me. I'm not your doormat. You don't owe me a penny. You know what I mean? Let's just move on. And I just went through that again with somebody else that owed me money. And I actually told her a couple of years ago, just don't even worry about it. But I felt indebted to her, that I had to be her friend and I had to keep that friendship going. Even though truly I don't really care for her. We're not at the same energy. And I was trying to make a relationship there, or keep it going, not make one where we're friends, because we would never be friends. But it was like I had to still have that connection with her. And I had a long talk with my husband about this yesterday, and I realized what I'd done. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to make it like, look, I forgive you. So therefore, I'm going to have a relationship with you to prove to you that I forgive you, and to prove to myself that I forgive you, right? Which all forgiveness is just self-forgiveness, right? So yeah, I was tangled up in all of that. And these other ones I let go earlier, but this was a big one. And I just actually completely let it go this morning. I had the conversation with my husband, and then I just sent her a voicemail and just sent her love. But I'm backing out, and it wasn't about her that she did these things wrong. I didn't say anything like that. I just said, I have decided not to move forward. And I want to thank you for everything. So, we need to know that. So let's talk
Right.
about that. What does that bring up for you?
For me personally?
No, not for you personally, but what do you think about what I said?
So in the way of cords and hooks, right? Whenever you create a relationship with someone, there is a cord between you, and there is energy that goes back and forth in that cord. There are frequencies that move back and forth, and sometimes those frequencies are not healthy. And so what happens sometimes with people who do this work is that there is the they're using the beings are using a word starts with an I. People become connected to that. People love you. They want to be near you. They want to be connected with you. They want to learn everything that you know. And so they themselves are wounded healers because they're putting everything that they should be into someone else's. Enamored, they become enamored with you. Is that a word?
Yeah, guru. They're like, there's some activations like that, putting people on a pedestal. Because I saw people doing that to me and I ran. It freaked me out. It's like, I don't want to be put on a pedestal. Do you remember that story? I don't know if I told you this. This was like 2000, I don't know, 15, 17, somewhere in there. I was over in England with a friend of mine and we went out. There's this place you can go out and they sing the blues, and it's all these different people that come up on Sundays from like 5 to 9. It's an early night. Perfect, because I go to bed at 9 o'clock. So we had some wine and we were dancing. We had a blast. And I went home and I went to bed and I woke up in the morning and I got on my cell phone. I was up at like 3 a.m. I got on my cell phone. I went on Facebook Live and I said, F you, I am not your guru.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I said it over and over and over again because these people were like putting me on a pedestal and I freaked out. It's like, no, you don't put me in charge of you. You're in charge of you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help you, but I don't want to get knocked off a pedestal. I'm one of you. So keep going. Cause we do that to people, and I did that to Dr. Sankey. I was talking to Dr. Sankey. We started the show late today because Dr. Sankey called. I love Dr. Sankey. He's been a guide to me, for the last 25 years, but I see him eye to eye now. I don't see him as the guru because I did that to him.
Right.
And now I see him as eye to eye, and it's so beautiful.
Right.
So
a lot of people, they use that, but they use that to discount themselves and to make themselves seem smaller than they are. It's also passive aggressive to do that to someone, right? To put someone, to make someone out to be greater than you are, because then there's the expectation. And when you don't fulfill their expectation, then they
get mad at you.
Then there's a wound. There's a wound created. There's a dark arrow sent towards you. And so it's just not a nice thing to do. And we were all created, my belief system doesn't have to be anybody else's, but we were all created at the same time. We are all the same age. And we basically have all the same gifts and knowledge. It's just that in this particular third dimensional body that we're in at this particular time, I may have more experience than another person in a particular field, right? Which helps me to share information and helps them to remember, because we all know everything already. Right. But I like to help people remember specific things that I have experienced in this experience. And Tamra, you are one of the people, we had a conversation, you and I, in one of our talks. And I had shared that I felt really odd whenever people put me on that pedestal because, and one of the things that I would tell people in the past, one of the things that I would tell people is that I am not any better than they are. I don't know any more than they know. And you stopped me and said, no, wait a minute. You have more experience than them, maybe. So never tell someone that they are the same as you, because that's discounting you. And I really appreciated that because it helped me. Oh, yeah. Okay. I do have to give credit to myself for
Absolutely.
for what I have learned, what I have paid to learn, and what I
Yeah.
have paid in experience to learn, and what I have suffered to learn. I have to give myself that much credit. And so you
Absolutely.
helped me to remember that. So thank you very much. Yeah, for that. But we essentially are not any of us different. We just came here and we are at different levels of remembrance right now. And so one of the things, or in my profile, what it says is that I help people to remember who they are and what their gifts are.
Yeah, because we're all part of the tapestry. We're all pieces of the puzzle. We all have different information, and we're here to support each other.
Right.
And, I'm here to support some people. You're here to support some people. We're here to support the same of some people, and then all different ways in life as they're supporting that soul.
Yeah,
If that
it's
makes
pieces of a puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
we all play a part in this game, this thing that you call the game, right? We all play a part in that.
Yeah. I mean, if we were all really good housekeepers, then what would the housekeeper do?
Right.
You know what I mean? If we were all good radio show hosts or whatever, or light language people, then what would other people do? We all are different, but we're all the same. So I agree with you. We're all created at the same time, and we're all playing different roles. We came here to learn. We came here to share, and we came here to play full out. And sometimes we get sidetracked because, trust me, this is a really good game. It's a really, really good video game. We could get spun out. We could be stuck somewhere and forget what we're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're here to help people remember what they came here to do and to help them get out of their way so they can continue on their path.
Right. Yeah. And I do that in a number of ways, things that I've learned throughout my time in this body. And now that I've learned how to connect to source, then I also help people remember those things that I haven't experienced in this life, but I've experienced in other lives. So,
well, yeah, because your timeline is all here now. Right. So you have access. Well, so is the connection to the universe. You have access to everything to be able to help people whenever that comes through, mm-hmm. and however that comes through. But to get there, all those trainings you did helped you get to where you are now to do what you're doing.
Exactly.
I'm thankful for every training I've had, and like you, I don't teach other people's modalities. Well, because I teach my own.
Right.
And I'm thankful for all the teachers I have also out teaching my modality, or it's not my modality. I get to manage it. I'm very clear that this was gifted to me to share with people. I'm not the owner of this. I'm the manager of it. I'm the gatekeeper for it. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do. So that's why I was saying sometimes words don't accurately describe things, and the English language is so distorted anyway. But it serves a greater purpose for humanity to have teachers of the system that you developed and created. It serves humanity for people to go out there and share it. Yeah, I was just saying that is not my path to go out and share that, but I do share it. I just don't teach it. But There was something else, and I lost my train of thought because they're talking to me all at once.
Well, why don't you just connect in for a second and bring us some messages?
Okay. So the way that I connect in and get out of my own way is through light language. So is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
He no mohon dahia she elere ko onga me na he andahia la de be e to loi mas elai enkere bo utoya be abui tai she elai na he ataki gol he enchuli imu unkai be ada de he che lai de be ko loi mahash elai anti wodobo be adi ko le a shai le he ento unto to ira kai de unkai he mo omba he ati ilu ui ma chale ati kai de be eto hai mo omba e she ele eti gole e de lai mo ohombo e atai e she ala e ke onko koi manana be pi u he pa ash ela e ata. So they were talking to me, and this is not a translation for light language, but my team were talking to me about this is an important time in history, and we always say that. We've been saying that since forever. This is an important time in history because they're saying every moment is an important time in history, in your history, and every moment is a chance to clear your fields, to become better, to remember more, to connect in with source more. And they are happy, and they're saying they are ecstatic, actually, for all of you who have chosen at this time to learn more, to be more, to expand more, and to connect in more. They're very happy about all of that, and they're happy to see you here today. And so I do want to talk to you about making sure that your energy fields are clean and clear. And someone earlier asked for a clearing. But clearings can be done in so many different ways. There's so many teachings on it. And so it's just a matter of finding that one way to that you are comfortable with. And so when we were talking about
what is something they can do themselves in their home?
Exactly. Yeah. And so when you were talking, Tamra, about remembering, or we were talking about remembering, and different modalities will key you to remember things like, I'm going to get off subject for a second with a modality that's called emotrance. And so when Source led me to that modality, I read the title of the book, and it was like, I don't want to know that. That's not anything I'm interested in. And they kept sending me back to that one book. And I finally said, okay. And I downloaded it and read it. And as I was reading that book, I was having aha moments everywhere. I was actually in public going, holy shit, do you mean this is real? Because I was reading her book, but I was reading my life. And
right.
she was simply putting in writing and putting into a form that a person could use. She was telling me everything that I already knew, but she was putting it in a form that I could understand better instead of having all of these scattered thoughts around. Right. And it was about energy. Yeah, it was about healing your emotions and how your emotions affect your everyday life in a whole pot of different ways. And so sometimes people come to sacred activations. I've had this happen when I was teaching it. I've had this happen that people, I would share your protocol, and I would share your your template for how to use sacred activations. And people were like, oh my God, I've been doing this for years and I didn't even know what it was. And thank you so much for, for the guidance on what this is and how I'm using it, why I'm using it. So yeah, we're here to help people remember what they already know. So
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Everybody, we're getting tons of comments about how amazing you are, and thank you for that. They want to know if you do light language training.
I do. Thanks, Judy. Emotrance. So the book is called, the first book that she wrote was called The Enchanted World. That was the first book. But light language, I'm writing my second book on that. So I do, at first we said you can't teach light language because it's ours, it's source language, but sometimes what we're calling teaching, we're simply reminding people of what they already know. So I found that, yes, I do teach it in some ways. I teach it every time I give a gallery or every time I give a retreat. I'm teaching people to remember that they already know this, and I'm teaching it through the books. And so there are, the author's name for The Enchanted World is Dr. Sylvia Hartman with 2 N's, I think. But the first book was called Galactic Frequencies of Light. And I co-wrote that book with 3 other women because I wanted people to have not only my perspective of what light language was, but there are so many different perspectives on it. But the second book, I'm waiting for it to come back from the formatter, and then I'll release it. And that one's called Unlocking the Mysteries of Light Language. And so it's all just another way of connecting into source. That's all that it is. All of these modalities, are just another way to connect you into source.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I do my modality. I've taken a lot of modalities, and there's a lot of modalities out there. I don't think people should stop at one. I mean, there's lots to learn, lots of different ways to learn, and people resonate with different levels and different things and different ways to do things that work for them. That's why, just do what works for you.
Yeah.
I was never attracted to Reiki. I don't know why, but I wasn't. Or other ones. And I know Reiki's amazing, but I went down hypnosis and NLP is where I started. And then went into theta healing, and then received sacred activations in the Rosalind Chapel in 2012. And my life's never been the same. Anyways, so thankful for that.
We're going to Rosalind Chapel in October. I finally get to go there in October.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for you. I'm trying to decide. You're not going to believe what I did. I'm no longer going to Egypt, and I'm spending 3 weeks in England, and I'm flying in on August 14th.
Right.
So I'm going in a couple weeks, and I'm going to spend 3 weeks, and I'm not sure where we're going to go. We're looking at Ireland. We're talking about Scotland. We're talking about Wales. I don't know. I just know I'm going. I got 2 days in Glastonbury, nothing else booked after that. I'm going to be traveling with my friend Wes. He's going to be doing the driving. He lives in London, and he's very spiritual, so he's going to be driving us around.
Yeah, it's on my list to go back to Ireland at some point, but this trip, I need to go back to Scotland. So, and of course, Glastonbury. Yeah, Glastonbury is
always have to do Glastonbury. Iona Island. Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, honey, we have got to take a break. So you guys come back. We're going to run some activations, and then I'm going to talk about some of my memories. Yay. So come back. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Or don't come back. Stick around. Stay right here. All right, Debs.
OMTimes TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities. Do you want to go deeper into sacred activations, which is a subconscious meta-programming process? Tamra Oviatt is inviting you to visit her website at tamraoviatt.com to sign up and get lifetime access to free 7 activations that you can listen to anytime you want or as often as you need. If you like what Tamra does and like to incorporate sacred activations into your life, she also offers live webinars, masterclasses, and practitioners training to further support your healing, manifestations, and expansion. There are hundreds of activations on her website that address different aspects of your life: money, health, relationships, intuitive abilities, and more. Head over to her website at tamraoviatt.com and experience the magic of sacred activations. Thank you for listening.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
So hi everybody, welcome back. So we're going to run some activations and clear some cords off of you. I absolutely love what Patricia was talking about. So we're going to run the vow of poverty, shaman beliefs, the law of karma. And karma is a bunch of crap, you guys. You know, you don't have to hang on to that stuff or be tortured or anything else. People indebted to you, the wounded healer, and we're going to release the codes. So, go ahead.
So can you also run something for sovereign being?
Okay, and sovereign being. So you guys, if you're new to this, just know it's going to knock you out maybe for a couple days, and you might get emotional after that because this is going to be intense and it's going to change a bunch of stuff for you. So just connect in. You can't do this wrong. I feel the best way to do this is just close your eyes and allow whatever thoughts to happen. That's all you got to do. So I'm going to connect and run the energy. Are you going to join me in this, Patricia, or are you just going to receive? You're going to receive?
Sorry. Yeah, I was muting my microphone so I wouldn't interrupt you.
Okay.
I'm going to lend my energy to it.
Okay. All right.
And
cool.
receive.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Here we go. Also, I'm hearing life is a struggle. It's a struggle to survive. Takes too much energy to manifest what you truly desire. And you have to work hard to get there. Let's let all that go. Also, healers who suffer. If dreams have no power, but we're living in a dream, therefore we have no power in the dream. Let's let that go. So the feeling of being powerless. So we're cutting all the cords, but more than that, we're activating your pillar of light. We're removing any cords. We're removing any heartstrings and any chains. And also spears or whatever else there is there. Curses, blessings. And we're also going to add in Black Magic Puppet Master. Okay, come into Mother Earth when you're ready. This energy is going to continue working with you for the next few days, weeks, even months, and it'll continue to shift you. And with that, you'll feel freer to be able to be you. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for joining in today. Is there anything, last things you'd like to say?
Just thank you for allowing me to come on and share. And I look forward to seeing. Oh, I want to remind everybody that you're actually going to be on my podcast on the 14th. So
Yay.
can I put a link here in the chat for it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So do you want me to mute now? Or you're gonna do your story,
I'm gonna
right?
go ahead
Okay.
and talk. All right. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much for being here. So I asked what I was going to talk about today, and I wanted to continue down the path of when I was 18 years old and I was told 1,000 times not to get on the motorcycle, and I did. And I got in that motorcycle accident, broke the helmet, almost died, but then because of the helmet, thank God, I put the helmet on. I went down the wrong fork in the road. It took me on a different path in my life. I ended up in this relationship with this man that was almost double my age for about 5 years. I felt indebted to him because I was in that accident with him, and I was suing his insurance company. So it created this indebtedness. And so I was in this relationship for about 5 years before I decided I had enough and got out of it. And during that time, I mean, at the time, the guy that I just truly loved came to support me through this, because remember, I was drinking through a straw when I was healing. And I walked away from him because of this indebtedness to this other man that I felt. So when we don't listen to our inner selves and our guidance, it could really throw us off on what we do and where we go, and like spinning out in life. I spun out for 5 years because of that, because I wasn't listening. Our inner guidance is everything, you guys. And the other part that you're talking to is just your subconscious programming, your ego. It's trying to keep you safe, but you got to listen to your intuition. You got to listen to that quiet voice within that's guiding you and sometimes screaming at you. I mean, I was told, I don't know how many times not to get on the bike, and I did. But with a helmet. What would have my life been like? What path would I have gone on if I had listened? I know it would be totally different. I mean, did I get to where I'm supposed to be? Yeah. But did I have to take that hard road that I took to get there? No, I didn't. I took the hard road. I ran into the wall. So, when we do things like that, we can get back on path and continue on, but it's important to realize what we've done. I didn't know what I had done, but I was told it was very important to share this what I learned out of all of this, at the time, and how it veered my life off, because it was huge. It was a huge off path thing that was just crazy, and it was absolutely silly. And but what I learned from that, what did I learn from that? Of course, I learned a lot from that relationship. But I can't think of what it is except standing in my own power. When I was ready to go, I was able to stand in my power. I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. And, I was taught women are supposed to be subservient, and, we're the wives, we're the, we're the homemakers. And I tried very hard to do all of that. And I think I did a pretty good job, unless I was making a pie. I would be covered head to toe with flour, and there'd be flour all over the kitchen. But So the roads we take, I mean, are we going to get there eventually? Sure. Most of us will, but a lot of us get sidetracked. I got sidetracked for 5 years. And some people get sidetracked their whole life. So if you feel sidetracked and off and there's no way back, there is a way back. You know, take time to meditate. Take time to connect on what you truly want to do. And set that path, and nothing's impossible. Nothing's impossible. I mean, and at this age, when I left, I just wanted to be a mom. And that was my goal for this life. I wanted to be a mom with a white picket fence, with a couple kids, and I wanted to raise kids. And I wanted to adopt. Remember I told you the story when I was 3 years old or something like that, 3 or 4, my mom put my brother up for adoption. That was, you know, she got pregnant out of wedlock. And I think that hit me and helped me with that decision of wanting to adopt. I didn't want to bring children into the world. I thought there was enough. I thought this world was a horrible place, and I didn't think it was right to bring children into it. But I knew there was enough children out there that needed homes. So my intention was to adopt, and it always was. And funny thing about that is, as a young teenager, I got chlamydia, which messed up my tubes and my ovaries and all kinds of stuff, which stopped me from having children. And then I ended up, after my second son was adopted, I ended up having a hysterectomy. But it's funny how we put those things in motion. I didn't want to have my own children. I wanted to adopt. So therefore, I created myself a disease to stop myself from getting pregnant so that I would adopt. Do you see how we do things like that and how we create things like that? I mean, are you kidding me? When I look back at that and realized everything I did, I wasn't a victim of chlamydia. I created it. You know, one of the activations I do now is sickness serves me, because we create everything, even the chlamydia. So I couldn't get pregnant, so I would adopt my children. So I wanted to share this part with you today about how I got off my path and how I got back on, you know, and we'll go more into that as we go, but this is it for today. Make sure you join me again, and we're going to go deeper into this, and I'm going to continue down the timeline of what happened to me, the creation, the failures, and what I did with it. And it's going to be interesting. And I'm looking forward. Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So thank you guys so much for sharing with me and being here with me. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.